Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Failure is only the opportunity more intelligently to begin again. You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. Vision without execution is just hallucination. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason so few engage in it. Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. If money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience and ability. One of the greatest discoveries a person makes, one of their great surprises, is to find they can do what they were afraid they couldn't do. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. You say I started out with practically nothing, but that isn't correct. We all start with all there is, it's how we use it that makes things possible. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. Any man can learn anything he will, but no man can teach except to those who want to learn. The short successes that can be gained in a brief time and without difficulty, are not worth much. Two classes of people lose money, those who are too weak to guard what they have, those who win money by trick. They both lose in the end. Many people are busy trying to find better ways of doing things that should not have to be done at all. There is no progress in merely finding a better way to do a useless thing. Be ready to revise any system, scrap any method, abandon any theory, if the success of the job requires it. The competitor to be feared is one who never bothers about you at all but goes on making his own business better all the time. If the people really set their minds on anything, it is impossible to prevent their getting what they want. One needs to be successful in the conventional way to learn just how far away from success it may be.
Henry Ford, founder of Ford Motor Company, born July 30, 1863, Wayne County, Michigan, U.S., died April 7, 1947, Dearborn, Michigan, American industrialist who revolutionized factory production with his assembly line methods. He was the eldest of 6 children in a family of 4 boys and 2 girls. His father was a native of County Cork, Ireland, who came to America in 1847 and settled on a farm in Wayne County. Young Henry Ford showed an early interest in mechanics. By the time he was 12, he was spending most of his spare time in a small machine shop he had equipped himself. There, at 15, he constructed his first steam engine. Later, he became a machinist's apprentice in Detroit in the shops of James F. Flower and Brothers, and in the plant of the Detroit Dry Dock Company. After completing his apprenticeship in 1882, he spent a year setting up and repairing Westinghouse steam engines in southern Michigan. In July 1891, he was employed as an engineer at the Edison Illuminating Company of Detroit. He became chief engineer on November 6, 1893. Thomas Edison would become a lifelong mentor and friend to Henry Ford. On April 11, 1888, Henry married Clara Jane Bryant of Greenfield, Michigan, the daughter of Martha, Bench, and Melvin Bryant, a Wayne County farmer. Clara lived to the age of 84 and died on September 29, 1950. They had one child. Son Edsel Bryant Ford was born on November 6, 1893. After this initial success, Ford approached Edison Illuminating in 1899 with other investors, and they formed the Detroit Automobile Company, later called the Henry Ford Company. The company soon went bankrupt because Ford continued to improve the design, instead of selling cars. He raced his car against those of other manufacturers to show the superiority of his designs. On June 16, 1903, Henry and 12 others invested $28,000 and created Ford Motor Company. The first car built by the company was sold July 15, 1903. Henry owned 25.5% of the stock in the new organization. He became president and controlling owner in 1906. In 1919, Henry, Clara, and Edsel Ford acquired the interest of all minority stockholders for $105,820,894 and became the sole owners of the company. Edsel, who succeeded his father as president in 1919, occupied that position until his death in 1943, when Henry Ford returned to the post. Henry Ford died at his residence, Fair Lane Estate in Dearborn, at 11:40 p.m. on Monday, April 7, 1947, following a cerebral hemorrhage. He was 83 years old. At his bedside were Clara Ford and members of their household staff. At the time of his death,